block.
I'd like to make a motion to come out of non-public session.
So moved.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to come out of non-public. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
And I would also like to make a motion to seal the minutes indefinitely, as divulgence of the information would likely adversely affect the reputation of a person other than a member of this board, and potentially render a proposed action ineffective.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. I should do a roll call on that. Councilor Mills?
Yes.
Councilor Webb?
Yes.
Councilor Spencer?
Yes.
Councilor Chase?
Yes.
Councilor Mauger?
Yes.
Councilor McEachran?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. Motion passes 7-0.
Sorry, who seconded that one?
I did.
I thought so.
Councilor McEachran.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Town Council meeting for Tuesday, what is it? December 2nd, 2025. Councilor Mills, will you lead us in the pledge, please?
Good evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, the roll call. Councilor Mills.
Good evening.
Councilor Webb.
Good evening.
Councilor Spencer.
Good evening.
Councilor Chase.
Good evening.
Councilor Mauger.
Good evening.
McEachran.
Evening.
And the chair votes.
The chair votes
Good evening. Good evening.
Chair votes good
I'm
evening.
getting ahead of myself. Yes, I vote to good evening.
I'm really excited, Tim. Can I make a motion to open public forum?
Yes. We have a motion and a second to plug form. We'll let Owen look online.
Should we vote on
Mr. Chair, we do have public attendees online. We might want to remind them, if they're on phone, to press *9 to raise their hand. And of course, if they've joined us by Zoom, they can use the raise hand icon.
Okay, I'm guessing they heard you, but if you're on Zoom, you want to speak, hit the raise your hand icon. If you're on the phone, press *9.
And with that said, we're seeing none rise at this time, Mr. Chair.
And seeing nobody in this vast audience over here.
that? Yeah, we didn't actually vote to.
Oh, we have to vote.
I
Yeah,
didn't think
thank
you
you.
heard me.
So no one's there? Okay.
We-
No, go ahead. Well,
So we
open
have
public
a
forum.
motion. Do we have and a second?
I seconded
Yeah,
it.
he's-
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, now, is anybody online?
Yes, we are seeing someone rise by the name of Nancy Francis, and
Okay.
we're going to allow her to speak at this time. She should be able to unmute herself now. Yep.
Good evening.
Hello?
Oh, well, just a second. Technical difficulties.
Oh, it's all right. Take your time.
How's that? That seems okay.
There you are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nancy Francis here from 4 Snowy Gulf Road, with the 9th annual Pantry Plunge update. Plunge, as we all know, is the annual fundraiser, the FBC Community Food Pantry. The pantry has been feeding our hungry neighbors in the greater Derry area since 1988. This year, I'm afraid we have seen record numbers of guests in need of the food pantry services. Hunger is a growing presence in our area, and it does not discriminate. Young people, not so young people, individuals and families, returning guests and new guests. No group is spared, but no one is turned away. This is the 9th year we've held the Pantry Plunge, and it happens this year on Saturday, December 13th at high noon. And it cannot happen without the coordinated efforts of many organizations here in town. And as always, we'd like to thank Derry Fire Department, Public Works, Public Health, Parks and Rec, and Derry TV. The Pantry Plunge began as a community response to a community problem of hunger. Everybody can help. You can collect funds, you can plunge, you can donate, or you can be like my friend Charlotte, age 8, and her sister Lucy, age 6, who are raising money and doing the plunge up to their knees on the 13th. So it takes all of us in whatever way we can contribute. We'd like to express our thanks to the Alexander Eastman Foundation for making a challenge to the Pinkerton students this year. Alexander Eastman will match dollar for dollar whatever the Pinkerton students can raise, up to $10,000. We've had participation from girls basketball and the Pinkerton Academy Band in the past, and we would love every Pinkerton Academy student to consider taking this challenge. and help meeting that matching goal. Please support these students in their efforts and make sure you reference Pinkerton Academy by group or by person when making your donation. And you can support all the plungers by donating either on our website at pantryplunge.org, by sending a check to the FBC Community Food Pantry at 4 Crystal Ave in Derry, or by the Venmo QR code on our website. We also welcome you to raise funds and join us at Galleon's Beach on the 13th. The pantryplunge.org website has many suggestions on how to have a successful plunge, or you can contact me through the website or over at Blue Seal, where I am proud to say we'll be hosting our 9th team for our 9th straight year. Please join us in the fight against hunger. Donate today, form a team, join us in the beach and in the water in a week and a half. More than ever, we're freezing for a reason. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for all you do with that.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Mr. Chair, seeing no one else rise online.
And seeing no one from the vast audience here in Town Hall, I'm going to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to close public forum. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public forum is now closed. Consent agenda, approved non-public minutes from November 18th, 2025. Those minutes were sealed. And approve minutes, which is agenda item 25-117 from November 18th, 2025 meeting. I have one correction on the minutes, which is under 25-117. On page 5, it says, I know there's legislation coming up and I'm going to try to rescind them. What was actually said was there is legislation up in Concord to rescind them. Not that I'm going to rescind them, but that there is legislation. So other than that,
Motion to approve as corrected by the chair.
Second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I'll do a roll call on that one. Counselor Mills.
Yes.
Counselor Webb.
Yes.
Counselor Spencer.
Yes.
Counselor Chase.
Yes.
Counselor Mojay.
Yes.
Counselor McEachern.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, 7-0. Chair's report, I have nothing other than thank you all for being here in the snowstorm. And
We're very happy to be here, and thank you for shoveling off our cars when we leave.
yeah. Mr. Fowler, TA's report.
All right, good evening. I have a couple of items on tonight's town administrator's report. So I'll start with some public works projects. The Rand Shepherd Water Interconnection Project continues even through this inclement weather with water main installation eastbound on Route 102. They're out of the Shenito Road and North Shore Road intersections, continuing to move east. So that project will continue for as long as it's feasible and there's not, hard frost and whatnot. So that's been good news there. Secondly, the Exit 4A project continues with widening work between Franklin Street and Manchester Road continuing. There will be a meeting upcoming with our DPW staff looking at the technical details as to how to finish off some of the questions on water and sewer for the B contract, and we're also going to take a look at some of the utilities on the C contract. So I think that meeting is on the 11th with DOT personnel and DPW, so we're going to continue to work in that direction. Widely anticipated solar project, we're happy to report that's about 96% complete. The only major work that needs to be done on that site is there's some work around the panels themselves, but essentially after that, a new pole line has to be set in certain locations along Transfer Lane. We are expecting to have solar generation somewhere around February of 2026, and the production, just to remind everybody, is looking at around 4.2 million kilowatt hours annually. Those productions will be put out to 27 town facilities. We'll be receiving a subsidized rate through net metering credits, which is going to be wonderful. I'm looking to report that in February, March. We'll have that. Should be an exciting number for our FY27 budget. I want to talk a little bit more about building and infrastructure projects. As you're aware, we're still waiting at the central fire, or the new fire headquarters, to move in. We're struggling with an issue about the generator, and there's a number of discussions that have been going on amongst Liberty Utilities, the other contractors on the site about, is it a regulator, is it the gas pressure, is it some internal questions about the piping. So that's ongoing. I won't say it's from a lack of interest or a lack of discussions. Both Greg and I have had some discussions with the construction manager, Wendell, to try to put some pressure on. But ultimately, if we can solve that in the near term, then that will allow the elevator to be tested. And once that's been certified, that will put us very close to being able to move in. So I'll continue to update the council and update the public on that. We had anticipated being in by now, but that is the final issue that's really holding us down. Many other things have been brought into the station, some furniture and whatnot. So once we get the go-ahead and we're approved on the elevator and the generator, we should be moving very quickly to get in and get into that building. Development projects, Abbott Court. If anybody's gone by there, you've seen some construction equipment being mobilized to the site. Looks like there'll be some preliminary construction activities sometime in December, and they'll work through the winter as the weather conditions permit. All right, so now just want to talk a little bit about just a personnel item. One of the items, it obviously has been prominently in the media in the last couple of days, but the town of Derry has been notified that Fire Chief Sean Haggard has retired effective December 1st, 2025. So he has had 24 years of service with the community, and he worked his way through the ranks up to being appointed the fire chief in March of 2024. So I just want to wish Sean and his family the best as he moves on to the next chapter of his life. Done a lot of good things here in the community, and now he's on to his retirement. So now, as a result of the vacancy, I'm seeking council authorization tonight to appoint the acting fire chief, Greg Laro, into the position of interim fire chief. I've consulted with town council regarding the process to find a permanent fire chief over the next couple of months. We are going to put Greg into the interim role, and I have full confidence that he's going to be working hard to keep the department moving forward. So town council's requested to approve resolution 2025-064, and that's found in your packet immediately behind, I believe, my town council report. So with that, if somebody could read the council resolution, and we can go, and Greg's obviously here in the audience tonight.
Council Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move resolution number 2025-064 to confirm the appointment of the interim fire chief. Whereas Section 8.8A of the town charter requires that the town council confirm the appointment of certain appointive officers, and whereas there is a vacancy in the office of the fire chief, and whereas the town administrator has appointed a candidate who possesses the necessary skills and experience to succeed in the position. Now, therefore, be it resolved in council that the appointment of Greg Laro as interim fire chief is hereby confirmed. This resolution shall take effect on December 2nd, 2025.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. On the motion, Councilor Mills.
Yes.
Council Webb.
Yes.
Council Spencer.
Yes.
Council Chase.
Yes.
Council Mauger.
Yes.
Council McEachern.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Congratulations, Chief.
Congratulations.
Would you like to
Thank you.
come up and introduce yourself to the public? It wasn't my intent. Well, that's okay.
No, right?
You're under pressure, man.
He will, but he won't be happy about it.
Good evening, members of the council. I appreciate your support and the appointment to the position. I give you my, how should I say this? I will say promise. I'll give you my promise that I am fully committed to this organization, and I will stick with it until we see some stability within the organization.
Great.
Thank you very
Thank you very much. Appreciate you
Congratulations.
stepping
Thank
up,
you.
Chief.
Congratulations.
And that's all I have for my town administrator's report this evening.
Great. Council Webb.
I just have a question on the fire station project with the generator. Has there been any discussion where it seems like it's been a while to resolve the gas issue to repower the generator with an above-ground diesel tank and repower to a diesel generator?
No, we haven't had that specific discussion. One of the possible scenarios that we're evaluating, we've asked Wendell to look at, is if we could pass the elevator test with an auxiliary generator that is the tow behind, not necessarily the one that the
right.
fire department has, but one that has significant enough power that it would have to run and the town would not be responsible for those costs. So that is another possible option. But in terms of converting from natural gas to diesel, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Anyone else? Nope. All right, moving on. We have a public hearing on item 25-114, resolution 2025-062, to approve a supplemental appropriation for equipment and to execute a lease purchase agreement with TD Bank. And Mr. Fowler will be presenting.
Yep. Mark Fleischer submits his apologies for not being able to be here tonight, so I'll take and pinch hit for this particular item. So, councilors and for the public, each year when we go through the budget process, there's a number of capital items that are identified through all the departments, police, fire, and public works primarily. Those items are usually put into a lease schedule depending on a 3-year, 5-year, 7-year lease. And so that's an integral part of our budgeting process in that it allows us to sometimes spread payments out and utilize our capital reserve funds for each one of the major departments. So each year, Mark and his financial team will go out to bid for the best rates. Sometimes it's been one bank or another. This year, for fiscal 26, TD Bank provided the most favorable terms. So you'll see within the staff report, originally, the budget was at $1,024,343 of cost. And the actual cost of those items now that we've gone out to bid. So if you look at the process that we employ, we get estimates prior to the budget. We go through the process. Sometimes, and as everybody can attest, vehicles, equipment, things of that nature come with some additional costs sometimes that we can't even anticipate even with our best outreach to each one of the vendors in advance. So a few of the items, particularly in the police department, their Ford Explorer cruisers have a slightly higher price than what was anticipated. The total price that we're looking to do for the adjusted lease amount is $1,093,081. You have $81. You then subtract out the cruiser trade-in, and the adjusted lease amount is $1,003,681. So what we're asking for tonight is twofold: a supplemental appropriation in the amount of, I believe it's $68,000, and then also to approve the lease for that particular item, and that will allow us to satisfy all the purchasing and receive the lease proceeds. So with that, if there's any questions, I can certainly answer that, and obviously this is a public hearing.
Do you have a motion?
I'm going to make a motion to open the public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second open public hearing. Councilor Mills.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Spencer.
Yes.
Councilor Chase.
Yes.
Councilor Mouget.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Public hearing is now open. If you wish to speak, raise your hand on the Zoom or...
Mr. Chair, at this time, seeing none rise.
Seeing no one rise and asking the vast audience of one, would you like to speak on the motion? No? Sure? Second chance at the microphone, Chief? No? Then I'm going to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Councilor Mills.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Spencer.
Yes.
Councilor Chase.
Yes.
Councilor Mouget.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Public hearing is now closed. Councilors, any questions? Councilor Webb.
I just have one question on the cruisers. Roughly, call it for easy math, $55,000 per cruiser. Why are we looking at $45,000 more for Chevy Tahoe versus with the fire prevention, I should say?
So, you're looking at the Chevy Tahoe and why
Yeah.
that was $90,000. Well, my belief is that there's two different classes of, obviously
Yeah.
the Ford Explorers are a little bit more for roadworthiness. The Chevy Tahoe's got to have some off-road capabilities, if you will. I believe the Tahoe was just determined to be a replacement for what was there, and by the time you upfitted equipment, radios, you're talking $90,000. Relative to the cruisers, those are a little bit more mainstream. And I would also add that for the cruisers, we're going with hybrids this year as opposed to gasoline powered. So the chief was able to find some that'll save us significantly, about $30,000 a year in gasoline costs. So that's part of the premium on that. But relative to the Tahoe, just being that, I think that's just the market price on those with the upfits.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Questions?
Seeing no further questions, you
There
want
is
me
a revised.
I have the revised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make
I
sure
kept the
there
Post-it note on it.
was a- Okay. Take it away if you
Okay,
like.
so Mike, if I screw this up, let me know, but
Yep.
I'm going with the one that had the Post-it note.
Yep.
Resolution 2025-062 to approve a supplemental appropriation to purchase capital equipment and to authorize the execution and delivery of a master lease purchase agreement therefore. Okay, whereas the town charter establishes the town council as the appropriating authority of the town, and as such is empowered by section 9.6 of the charter to make supplemental appropriations after the annual budget is adopted, whereas the town council approved the purchase of capital equipment as part of the FY26 budget adoption, and whereas current economic conditions require a supplemental appropriation to complete the purchases, and whereas the town customarily finances these acquisitions through a lease purchase program, whereas these excise costs will be absorbed through multi-year lease purchase payments from the town's capital reserve fund, and whereas the town of Derry, a body politic and corporate duly organized and existing as a political subdivision of the state, leasee, is authorized by the laws of the state of New Hampshire to purchase, acquire, lease personal property for the benefit of the leasee, and to enter into contracts with respect thereto, and whereas leasee desires to purchase, acquire, finance, and lease certain equipment with a cost not to exceed $1,003,681, constituting personal property necessary for leasee to perform essential government functions, paren, the equipment, end of paren, and whereas leasee proposes to enter into certain master lease purchase agreements, paren, the agreement, close paren, with the TD Equipment Finance, Inc., leaseor, the form of which has been available for review by the governing body of the leasee prior to this meeting, and whereas funds made available by leaseor under the agreement will be deposited into an account designated in writing by the leasee for the purposes of administrating the funding amount pursuant to the lease, paren, the funding account, close paren, or pay leasee an equal amount of the funding agreement. Whereas leasee has taken necessary steps, including these relating to any applicable legal bidding requirements to arrange for the acquisition of the equipment, and whereas the governing body of the leasee deems it for the benefit of the leasee and for the efficient, effective administration thereof to enter the financing documents and any other document necessary, convenient, or appropriate for the purposes of financing the equipment on the terms and conditions described herein. Now, therefore be it resolved in council that the sum of $68,738 is hereby raised to complete the purchase of capital equipment to be allocated as follows. General Fund, $56,674. Water Fund, $12,064. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the leasee that leasee is hereby authorized to execute and deliver the agreement with the principal component of rental payments in the aggregate amount not to exceed $1,003,681. Be it further resolved that the financing documents and acquisition and financing of the equipment under the terms and conditions as described in the financing document are hereby approved. Town administrator of the leasee and any other officer of the leasee with the power to execute contracts on behalf of the leasee be, and each of them hereby is, authorized to execute, acknowledge, and deliver the finance documents and any other instrument documents and certificates which may be required by or provided for in the financing documents as may otherwise be required for the necessary, convenient, appropriate to the financing described in this resolution, together with any changes, insertions, omissions therein as may be approved by the officers who executed the financing documents, such as approval of conclusionary evidence by such execution and delivery of the finance documents. The town administrator, the leasee, and any other officer of leasee with the power to do so be, and each of them is hereby authorized to affix the official seal of the leasee to the financing documents and attest to the same. Be it further resolved that the proper officers of the leasee be, and each of them thereby is, authorized and directed to execute the delivery, any and all papers, instruments, opinions, certificates, affidavits, and other documents and to do so cause to be done any and all other acts and necessary for the for carrying out the resolution of financing documents. Be it further resolved that pursuant to Section 265B of the Internal Code of 1986 as amended, the code, leasee hereby specifically designates the agreement as a qualified tax-exempt obligation for the purpose of Section 265B3 of the code. Other instrument shall be construed with the respect of the leasee as incurring to the pecuniary liability or charge upon the general credit of the leasee or against the taxing power, nor shall the breach of any agreement contained in this resolution, the agreement, or any other instrument or document executed in connection therewith impose the pecuniary liability upon leasee, any charge upon the general credit or against the taxing power exempt to the extent that the rental payments payable under the agreement are special limited obligations of the leasee as provided in the agreement. Be it further resolved that if any section of the paragraph, clause, or provisions of this resolution shall, for any reason, be held to be invalid or unenforceable, the invalidity or unenforceability of such section, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not affect any of the remaining provisions of the resolution. This resolution has been adopted by 2/3 of the entire council as required by the charter and shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
Before I second this, I think you missed a word on the second page, and you might want to start over.
Read it all again.
And that's my response.
Then I second that.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, a very long motion, and a second. Council Mills.
Yes.
Council Webb.
Yes.
Council Spencer.
Yes.
Council Chase.
Yes.
Council Mojay.
Yes.
Council McEachern.
Yes, and I will be quizzing everybody afterwards of what the hell I said.
Nobody knows.
And the chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Councilor comments. Council Spencer.
Just a few things. A congratulations to our chief, Alara, here, and a thank you to Chief Haggart for his service. Just an update that the legislative committee will be meeting tomorrow night here, in the other room on the third floor here. And I am never home the weekend of the pantry plunge. This is the first year I will be, and so I'm challenging all 6 of you sitting here, and the 7, I'm adding you in, that I think it would be really nice if at least some contingent of the council showed up for the pantry plunge. So if you're interested, let me know.
I like it.
I just want to verify that the fire department has enough heart monitors and CPR equipment. If
Didn't we just approve some
any of the
AEDs?
senior group over here decides to jump in, are we ready with all the EMTs appropriate? Okay.
So I always go, but I'm not going.
That's a hard no for me also.
But I do go in support. Anyone else?
Ask me in June. I'll be out there.
Excellent.
Anything? No?
If there's nothing else from anybody, I'll make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.